Oh, there it goes. All right, can you see me okay? I know I'm squatting down, but I want you to be like what I'm doing.
Yeah, no,
On.
I can see you.
Okay. All right. Are you guys ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I already measured everything out just because that made for easier class here. But I used the digital scale. I think probably you can convert the grams and stuff to, I mean, the ounces to, I don't know, tablespoons or something like that. But this was very helpful. And today, like, I doubled the recipe because I got a whole box of those, these kind of tubes, which I know aren't necessarily green, but they make for easy small gifts. But you can collect like the little, I don't know, like baby food jars or those like little pimiento jars are really good, or whatever you have on hand. So there is something that you need to prepare ahead of time for this. And that is, hold on one second, I lost you guys. Where are you?
We can still see you.
Oh, you can, okay. So one thing I make is calendula oil. All you need to do is you take olive oil and then you put any kind of whatever the flour is that you want to infuse, but I got like calendula flowers dried. So you really just like stuff the jar, cover it, make sure it's covered with oil, and you just leave it sit for like a couple of weeks. You just give it a shake every now and then, and at the end you drain out you filter out the flowers, and then you have like basically called an infused oil. And so the recipe I'm using calls for lavender infused oil and calendula infused oil, but I don't have that much lavender on hand. So I just did the calendula, and then we'll be adding the essential lavender oil. But you can use so many different kinds. I mean, you could use just straight olive oil if you wanted to. It's a really good base for things. So.
And Kirsten, can I ask a question? Is it like, like what is it? Sun tea, sweet tea, where it helps if you leave it out in the sun? Does that?
You can, yeah.
Here?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's not so much the sun as it is like just having a little warmth. So if there's like a warmer area in your house next to like a heater or something, yeah. I think some oils and some flowers and stuff are sensitive to sunlight. Like things will start to break down if it gets too hot, but a little bit of extra warmth will be good.
Yeah, particularly if you are using any essential oils, you want to make sure that the container is glass. I noticed yours is glass. Just because those can like eat away at plastics or metals. So,
yep.
Yeah. That's good to know. So, and I want to tell you guys, the driveway coming into our property is filled with lavender. And so I think it blooms, in July, August. So I'll be sure to get y'all some lavender, okay?
Nice. That would be great.
Yeah.
I do remember that. Like, I think it was still flowering at the end of August.
Yeah.
Beginning of August when I first arrived.
Yeah, so we'll all have to do some lavender oil like you're saying. That'll be fun.
Yeah, really nice. So I didn't have lavender oil, but I love almond oil. So this was something that I purchased. It's really good for like massage, but just any kind of skincare stuff. So this is what I'm using instead of the lavender infused oil. And then you also need, so I have beeswax, which I believe you can order online, but this is actually from my hives, my aunt's hives that we were raising together in Maryland. So she just gave me this when I was back this last time, which was really great. It just smells so good. So I definitely recommend using like pure beeswax instead of any other kind of substitute. All right, so what are you doing? Off. It thinks it's a smart stove. So to prepare the beeswax, instead of like cutting off a chunk, because it takes a long time to melt that way, I used a grater, this, and just grated it like that, because the little tiny pieces melt a lot more evenly. And so in the end, it'll be like, it's my shredded beeswax. And again, I measured everything out. You also need coconut oil, Trader Joe's, yay! And then I have some vitamin E. This is a good preservative. Just helps it stay fresher longer, because if you keep it for a long time, get kind of rancid. And then this is the essential oil that I'm using today. This is the lavender. Jessica will share some other alternatives. And actually the recipe that I had called also for almond oil, but like essential oil. So it had that almond smell, but I don't have any of that. So not using that. So it's quite easy. So I have my water is boiling and I have my little glass thing here. If you don't have a nice measuring cup like this with a spout, you could also use a mason jar. That'll work. They recommended like putting a washcloth here, I guess, to kind of hold it. I don't know how that would work, but I guess it could work somehow. So first I'm gonna put in all the oils. I'm gonna let them heat a little bit. And then slowly I'm gonna add the beeswax in there. And that is the almond oil. Oh, this I feel like I'm on a cooking show. I'm saying like in cooking shows, they have everything ready already, right? It's like they make it look so easy. There's no cleanup. There's no chopping of anything. It's just, you can be done in 5 minutes. This is the calendula oil. Hoping this is gonna be big enough. So I'm doing a double recipe. I'm hoping will be enough space in here. We'll see. And then this is the coconut. So at room temperature, it's kind of a solid, but it'll melt pretty fast. Do you guys cook with coconut oil?
Yeah, I do. Popcorn.
Ooh, nice. Yeah, I made popcorn the other night. I like to put olive oil and nutritional yeast on it.
You told me that and we bought some and we've started doing it. It's really good.
Okay. Yeah,
it's messy though, really messy.
It is really messy. Like at the end, you kind of have to just like scoop it and you're just eating. It's kind of like, I don't know, it's a big mess. Okay.
Well, you guys, you just put the popcorn kernels in the coconut oil on your stovetop?
You can do it like that. Yeah, then it kind of has a coconut flavor. I don't know if you can see this. So the coconut oil is in there and just kind of melting down a little. So I'm gonna let all that heat. I think in the recipe it says to kind of just throw everything in together, but I like to do heat the oil first. Come on, stove. Are your stoves like this? Mine is so sensitive.
Yeah, mine is for sure. And it beeps at me if you're anywhere near the buttons.
Yeah, I was like, I had a piece of like celery fall down like on the stove and it just turned off. I was like, come on.
Yeah.
All right, that's almost melted. I've also
Kirsten, do you reuse your metal? I mean, your glass? Do you know, like, is it no problem to reuse it after you just wipe it out and you can use it for other cooking stuff?
Oh yeah, yeah. So with this measuring cup, I'll just put it back into the water bath, wipe it down with a paper towel, and then once you have like a fine film of wax in there, it's really easy just to do soap and water. It'll come off.
Okay. Okay, thanks.
The harder thing to wash was my grater.
Yeah, I bet.
And just run hot water over it, and that'll kind of like make the wax a little bit liquid, and just wipe it down as best you can with a paper towel, and then just hot soap and water again.
Okay.
But the cleanup's kind of a pain. Okay, so now I'm gonna add the beeswax, but just little by little. And put some in. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see it? You just give it a stir and it'll just melt down. It smells so good. So it's important to have a good proportion of beeswax to oil. So the beeswax is going to make it more solid. If you put too much, then it's going to be just really hard, and not enough, it'll just be too liquid. So you can also play around with it if you do it enough times and you have a preferred firmness that you want. This was like the last thing I did before I left Maryland. I had all this stuff and I was like, I wasn't sure if they were gonna let me ship all of the oils and stuff. So I was like, oh, I'm just gonna have to throw this away. I'm gonna make one more batch. Then I was like, what am I doing? I have so many other things I need to be doing right now, but here I go. Making lip balm for people I don't yet know.
I think that was a great idea. And then did you put your beeswax in your suitcase and all that?
What did I do? I shipped it with the home, like my household goods, but I like put it inside boxes and I didn't say what was in the box.
How long does beeswax keep for?
What's that?
How long does beeswax last?
Oh, like forever.
Yeah.
So bees have, well, they're just amazing creatures. They just have products that with amazing properties. So, for example, like if an animal gets into the hive, they will like mummify that animal. So imagine like a mouse got into the hive. They'll cover it with like propolis, which is another substance. If you look at beeswax, sometimes it has like a little brown substance in it. It's like even harder than beeswax. It like mummifies them and it could just stay in there forever because they can't drag it out. And that's good forever and ever. Yeah, beeswax, I don't believe it goes bad.
Well, I know people use it for like storage, right? Instead of the bags or instead of like foil. Do you use it?
Do I use beeswax in?
Yeah, you can. I know there's like companies now that make it in like roll, like almost like a roll where you can reuse it and keep it as a bag and you just like fold it.
Oh yeah, I have some of those.
You
I
do?
wasn't sure if they were gonna work well, but I got them from Trader Joe's. They're like cloth that's covered in
yeah,
like foil or the same way you use plastic wrap and you just rinse it and reuse it. Yeah, yeah, that's really cool.
That's great. I need to get my hands on some of that.
Yeah. All right, I'm like halfway through here. So the key is like your infused oils and the coconut oil and all that, you can heat pretty hot. But we're gonna wait till the end to put the essential oils in because if you put them in now, they'll just like evaporate. And would destroy all the good properties of those. Do you want to talk more about like what oils you think you would use, Jessica?
Sure. I'm just looking like, I don't know if you guys can see. I know Karen hasn't seen my collection. I have a
collection.
yeah. Anyway, I can get a little crazy about them. I was just thinking some of the more natural, like steering away from the perfumey oils, more of the natural like herb-based oils. Like you were talking about lavender, peppermint, and it's really mixed together, you know, and they bring it
really good.
Yeah. I was thinking eucalyptus even. Although I would want something to mix it with, perhaps like a orange, or there's a really nice blend that doTERRA makes that I don't have on me. It's at school, and it's called Citrus Bliss, and it reminds me of a 50/50 bar. You know, like the creamsicles, the orange with the cream inside.
Yeah.
So it's not too tart. It's got like a softness to it. So that would be a really nice one as well, especially to cut like a more green herby scented oil like eucalyptus. Now, one that might not taste so good but has really like awesome medicinal properties would be oregano. But you'd want to use it in small amounts. But the thing with oregano is like you can't use it every day. You can use it for a couple days if you're putting it in, and then you have to take a break for a day. But it's got really awesome like medicinal properties. I was also thinking spearmint. Like spearmint smells exactly like spearmint gum, so it'd be nice like freshening aspect as well. And then I was thinking lime. Like lime you can mix with a lot of stuff too. And I have other things like cilantro and basil. Like, so if you like herbish type scents and tastes, you can mix in something like lime or lemon or orange to make it more palatable. So yeah, that's what I was thinking, that anything that I would feel comfortable putting on my lips.
And you know, like this basic process is the same that you would use for any kind of salve. So you could make like a first aid ointment too, you know, using, again, calendula oil is actually really good, like a first aid type oil. So, and almond oil is also just good for the skin. So you could take just that basic recipe and use it with, I don't know what other like first aid kind of things you might have for essential oils, but anything there. Like, didn't you have something for, I don't know, I don't remember.
Yeah, well, there's a few, like Melaleuca, which is like tea tree oil, is really good. Like I use it all the time for various things, like if I get a bite or like I have a breakout or anything really, I'll apply it, but it needs to have a carrier oil because it's quite harsh. So I would mix it with like a little bit of coconut oil, or like I'll mix it just a tiny drop in with my moisturizer or something like that, like along my jawline if it's that time of the month. Another really good one is On Guard. This is like one of their famous ones. It's like they've made it into soaps and mouthwashes and everything, and it's like their protective blend. So that would probably be a really good one in a first aid kit.
I think I was thinking of the eucalyptus, like Vicks, you know, you have a cough or a cold.
Oh,
is like,
yeah. So Breathe, I think was the one this one has eucalyptus. It has peppermint, melaleuca, which is tea tree oil, lemon, cardamom. So yeah, it's a mixture of those. And this one's really good if you're feeling congested. So they actually have a similar line of products for Breathe, including this, which is kind of like a Vicks. So it's just like what you're making, right? I don't know if you can see that. And you just rub it like on your chest. So that would be really fun to experiment with something like that with different oils.
And then there was like the deep blue stuff.
Oh yeah, that one's one of my favorites. So deep blue is like good for muscle aches, and it comes in this tiny bottle, and you only need a little bit of it. I like to use it in my bath, or if I have like sore muscles, I might mix it into like massage oil, like a castor oil or something like that. And they also have a lotion too that's you can apply directly on the skin, and it's really good. It's kind of like icy hot, but it's got such a lovely smell. Like I've given this to so many people and they just love it. It smells so nice.
Do you have arnica in there? Is that one of the oils? No. Okay. Maybe that's more of like a carrier oil or something, but arnica is really good for like bruises, sore muscles and stuff. So that's another.
Is there another name for that? I'm trying to think because they come up with their own names for this. Let me see.
I have no idea.
Let's see. It's from a European flowering plant.
I know it grows in the U.S., but did it originate in Europe? Maybe. It's like a big daisy-looking plant that grows in the mountains.
Yeah. Well, it says it's related to marigold, and they have that. That's one oil I don't actually have.
Huh. That would be cool too.
Yeah.
All right, I think this is finally melted. Let's go. Okay, so here it all is with everything in it. Let's go let it sit for a second. And then we're just putting kind of this little splash of the vitamin E. And again, that's just the preservative.
Very precise measurements, Kirsten.
Yeah, I like that. Just a splash. And then it's supposed to be like 10 drops of lavender oil. But since I'm doubling it, I'm going to do 20 drops. But again, like, you put too much, it's not really a problem, right?
What was that oil, Kirsten, you're putting in right now?
Hold on, 17, 18, 19, 20. Lavender.
Lavender. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's the lip balm that I made for you guys. Okay, let me turn the stove off. Ooh, it smells so good. All right, and that's kind of it. So now, I don't know if you can see, but I lined up all my little tubes here. So it's good to just have things ready. Like I can reheat this if it starts to like harden or thicken in here, but it's just good to have it ready. I just pour my little tubes, try to get it right to the top, and that's it.
That's amazing.
So I have, like 50 of them to fill. So this part is a little tedious. It's a little easier if you just have like containers that you just pour a bunch more in. But like I said, it makes for cute little gifts. That's it.
Wow.
I won't fill
So
them all.
you were saying you could also, like, if you had little, like screw top, I guess, you know how you've seen that like Carmex comes in. If you had something like that, you could do that too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, like anything that any container that you wanted to use, you can use. That's it.
Have you ever played around with tint? Like you can take, I've never tried this, but you can take like old eyeshadows and things like that and mix it in with things like to make your own nail polishes and things like that. I'm wondering if you'd be interested in experimenting with that. I mean, you wouldn't be able to get a true color each time, but it might be something fun. Or even like sparkles for like kids. I feel like that's fun.
That would be really neat. Yeah. Yeah, there's so much that you can do with this. And it's just, like I said, so many just simple ingredients.
Yeah. No, I love it. And then would you use like Jessica, like would you use some of the other herbs that you're talking about? Like let's say, could you use, Kirsten, that same recipe, or how would you change it up to like, you know, make, instead of lip balm, like she's talking, Jessica, you're talking about the nail polish or maybe like the cream. Have you done anything like that?
I've done other like I said, first aid kind of salves.
Mhm.
It depends what kind of properties you want to feature in your salve. So like I made one at home. I collected black walnuts. So the hulls of black walnuts are like antimicrobial and antibiotic, but it's a kind of a lot of prep. And then they had a very distinct smell. So then I was like, well, I need something to go with this to kind of deal with that smell. So I was looking at other things that had similar properties. So I ended up using like myrrh. I don't know if you heard of that. So it was a very unique set. I love the smell. Some people were like, what is this?
It's funny. They say there's a lot to it, like the smells that you gravitate to.
Yeah.
Like at least in the doTERRA world, they say like you gravitate towards like what you need. So for example, if you're like really like me, I'm always gravitating towards the more earthy smells.
Yeah.
So they say that means I need grounding, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and I found that at different times, like different oils or different scents in general will really speak to me,
Right.
But I was thinking to add to what you were saying, if you're looking for other creative ways to use oils and herbs, I've made like a honey, like I've used, and I think we did this too, right, Kirsten? Like you take a and you can mix in different oils. There's like homemade cough syrups you can make with a honey as a base. And I've taken like Epsom salt and mixed in the oils that I like, and then you can put it into your bath, things like that. Take something that you already like that's not scented and kind of experiment with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
That sounds like a great idea. You guys are giving me such good ideas. Thank you.
It is really fun, and it's hard to be wrong. I mean, particularly if you like it, like you said, Jessica, if it's something that kind of speaks to you. Again, I made a bunch of that salve, and it was very earthy smelling, and I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had made it for my sister that was struggling with eczema, and she like tried everything, like every cream and so she was willing to give my earthy stab a try also. It was great.
One thing I made for gifts one year during the holidays was I used rice, and I had, oh my God, my house smelled so strongly of different like essential oils, but I thought about different people, and I had all these different bowls with rice, and then I mixed in the oils that I thought they might like. So I had all these different little bowls of rice, and then I don't know how to sew, so I found like a craft that didn't require sewing, where you make those, what are they called?
So like a tube sock?
Kind of, yeah. So you can heat it in the microwave and like put it on your neck or something like that. And it's got the nice smells and properties of the oils.
Oh, that's nice.
Unfortunately, the craft that I found did not last. And after a few tries, it started to like break away, and ice was starting to get out. But if you can sew, like it's really easy to make.
Right. Yeah, I've seen those as like eye masks too. Lavender with the rice on your eyes.
Yeah, and then I think for Christmas I got a pair of socks, and they had something in the bottom, plus they had the lavender oil, and then you warmed them up. So I mean, people are getting really creative with this, and I think it's a great idea, Jessica.
And you have so much lavender at your house. That's like perfect.
I know. But really, if you, and I think I maybe gave you some, Therese, like when you were getting migraines, I gave you one of the oils. It was either peppermint. I think I gave you peppermint. Yeah.
It was peppermint, and I still use it. I absolutely love it. I put it on my temples or back of my neck. So I love the peppermint. So maybe that's what I gravitate towards, because I need it, so much.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jessica.
You're so welcome. The thing with oils is like, if you have a headache or something and you want to put it on your, on your head, you have to make sure that it doesn't get into your eyes. So that might be a really nice one to make with a salve, something that you could just like, that the liquid won't get in your eyes or in your mouth or anything like that. So that might be one worth experimenting.
That's a good idea. That's a great idea.
Yeah. I think I like the peppermint also in the balm. Like it's so refreshing. You're like, Hey, Therese.
No, you're right. It'd be good on your lips too. It seems like, huh?
Did you ever get one of those like it was like an essential oil watch, like a bracelet that Natalie had? Do you remember?
Yes, I actually ordered one of those from my sister for her birthday, but I never did get one for me yet, but I will, because I think those are so cool. Have you seen them, Jessica?
Yeah, and they have them as necklaces as well, because like this is where like most people produce like heat in their body, right? So this is a good to have it as well. But it is nice. I think Kirsten and I have talked about like just being able to like,
Did you find it on Amazon, Therese?
Yes, it's on Amazon.
Okay, I'll have to look.
Yeah, just be on the lookout for it. Yeah, I kept saying I was going to get myself one too.
I know. Well, now that I have some time for some online shopping,
Right. That's about all the shopping we're all doing, right? Except if you go to the grocery store.
I went to the post office the other day to pick up 2 packages that I had, and the guy in front of me had 18 packages.
Oh my goodness.
This huge stack of papers. I had to pull up a cart. I was like, wow, man. I hope that's like a one-time thing, because
gosh,
we got some ways to go.
Yeah.
So funny.
Wow.
Good. Well, thanks for coming, Therese.
Yeah.
I loved it. Wait, Kirsten, I've got one more question. At the top, what do you put at the top? Like, is there like a little roller ball and then a screw-on cap, or how does it work?
There's a cap that goes on. And so actually, let me show you what I've been doing. So like when you pour it, like it kind of gets like a little divot in it as it just starts to settle. So I go back afterwards and just put like another little bead of lip balm. So it's kind of like round looking.
Okay.
But, no, it fills up the whole tube, and then as you need it, it just rolls up. And then there's a lid that goes with it. So
that is amazing.
It cools pretty quickly, yeah?
It is, yeah. Like, I mean, before you use these, you would want them to cool probably for another hour or so. Otherwise, they're just gonna like smash apart on your lips. So yeah, pretty cold. Same thing. Like if they're sitting in a hot car, you don't want to use it. Kind of a disaster.
No, you guys, this has been fabulous. I would actually like, I think I am going to order some of this stuff. Like, I mean, I don't know, like the doTERRA and also like some of the oils that you said you liked, Kirsten. Like, you think y'all could maybe do like just like a little Google slide and post it,
Oh, sure. Yeah. Yeah. I can put like a visual of the different ingredients and stuff. And if anyone wants to make some of their own like infused calendula oil, somehow I can give you some of the flowers because I got a ton.
Oh, good. Okay.
A long time to use all that. And it's probably better just to use up the product and get some new stuff than just let it get old, loses its power.
I feel the same way about oils. Like I'm always trying to give them away to people because I always have them keep coming in, So, when we're able to, I would love to like be able to sit down with you if you're interested and you can play with them, smell them, see what you like. I just ordered a bunch more bottles, like the little tiny carrier bottles, so you can take them home and see what you like.
Yeah. Therese, are you going to get a face mask from Sherry tomorrow?
I already did. We already picked ours up.
Oh, you did? Okay. She said
and,
tomorrow at 10 though, right?
Yeah, I think she's doing like every other day. She has a group of people come to meet her. She doesn't want to do too many at one time.
All right. I was just going to propose I can just drop stuff at your door too. You have to see me.
Thank you. That would be awesome. Speaking of Sherry's thing, Sherry's face mask, she's talking about, have you read you can use a vacuum cleaner? I don't know if it's called a HEPA filter. Do y'all have a source for that? Have y'all ever done that?
No, I have a bagless vacuum, ironically, for the first time in my life. I was thinking about using coffee filters because they're so cheap. I thought maybe even just doubling those up. But
yeah, those are okay, they said, but from what I read, the other ones are like amazing,
Right. Yeah, probably now that it's out on the internet, like you can't buy them. It just seems like whatever the tip is, like I don't know.
Yeah,
just can't get ahead of the ball.
That's true. Well, that's kind of what I feel like we're doing with this stuff. We're ahead of the game,
There you go.
All right, thank you guys. Thank you both so much. Kirsten and Jessica, y'all have been wonderful.
It was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. Thanks, Kirsten.
Sure. So, Therese, is there a place that we could post this video for people to watch?
Wherever y'all think. Do you want to put it on the I think we should put it on the social committee one, and then also on the the what do you call Operation Cabin Fever